Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would introduce you guys to an idea that I had for a coloring page. This is the original work that I did on these eyes, and then I turned them into this grayscale coloring page. And the reason that I thought that you might enjoy that is that if you are anything like me, you love to do eyes. Eyes are so much fun, but the problem for me is that they are often, very small when on a face on a page. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do just eyes. And the benefit of that is that they get to be nice and large so that you can really come in and really get into the details of the piece, the section of the eye. So what I'm finding the benefit for me is that when I do them large and I'm able to really concentrate on the details that wouldn't necessarily be able to get on a coloring page, it then allows me, when I go to do them on a smaller scale, because I've done them on a larger scale, it helps when you know what the different little areas are supposed to look like, and then you shrink it down. I've found that to be a great benefit for me, and I'm really enjoying these. These are the first 4 that I've done. I'm working on a second set of 4 that I will do if these are successful, if you guys like this concept. So then in addition to the light grayscale and the dark grayscale, this is the light grayscale version of this set of 4 eyes. You also get this eyelash practice sheet. Now, of course, you could absolutely, color the whole square. And that gives you practice on doing eyes on a slightly smaller scale. I know they look funny because A, they're too close together in each square, and B, they're the same exact eye, just flipped. But the purpose of it was so that you guys could practice eyelashes, not on a page that you have already worked on, and you put all that time into, and then you go to do your eyelashes, and you don't want to mess it up. So this way you don't have to mess it up, and you can practice in doing the eyelashes on an eye that's already done. So, and you can just do them over and over and over again. So when doing eyelashes, you guys want to give those a nice curve. And you want to have some crisscross over each other, and you want some to clump together. You also want to make sure your pencil is really nice and sharp. I still sometimes do eyelashes and I'm not happy with how they look. That does happen, but I thought that maybe this sheet would let you practice those eyelashes. So just really quick, and just so that you can see the difference in curving your eyelashes and clumping them as opposed to doing them straight. So when they're straight and lined up like that, you get that compared to curving them and clumping them. So that's the biggest difference if you want your eyelashes to be as realistic looking as possible. So anyway, that's the eyelash practice sheet. And today I thought I'm just going to do one because they're big, and they do take some time, especially if you want to get a realistic look. So I'm just gonna fix my camera a little bit here. Sorry for the shaking. We'll blow that up. We'll get him in place. You know what? I'm just gonna do it on an angle like that. Okay, so one more thing. So all of these, the eyelashes are done for you so that you can, in this case, kind of get used to the motion of how they go. And then on this bottom one here, I took the eyelashes out so that you could do your own eyelashes on that one. So anyway, that's the page, and I decided to go ahead and give it a shot on the white paper. You guys know I like my tan paper, and but you know, we'll try it on the white. So I'm going to, where do I want to start? I think I'm going to start, you know, sometimes I start in here, and sometimes I start with the iris. I think I'm going to kind of move around a little bit. I think I'm going to start a little bit here to start with. So this is Nectar. But yeah, it's been really fun learning on these big, with these big eyes. I really like it. And then I thought, you know, if these go over well, if you guys like these and they and they're worth me doing, then I thought maybe I would do one for lips as well, because again, there's so much detail that you can, this is blush pink, I think. Yeah, there's so much detail that you can do when they're bigger. Okay, so Henna. So I may start by just mostly blocking in, getting some color down, and then fill things in, and then come back and really go for the fine tuning and the details. Blush pink still. Okay, let's do some Nectar right along this edge here. And let's get our little highlight right on this white. Again, that's one of those things that I love about using the mid-tone paper, because then I can add those highlights when I want to, which is really nice. Okay, let's do, so I've got some grays out here. And as you guys have heard me say before, the whites of an eye are never all white. There's a lot of grays and other tones in there. I think I'm going to start with 10% warm gray. since I'm working on white paper, I'm not positive how dark these are going to go. Yeah, we can go darker. Let's do 20% warm gray. And let's do some of that over here too. All right, then I'm going to do some 50% cool gray. There's no tape on it, so it's not holding in my... 1 second here. If you don't... oh, you know what? Let me just double check that my focus is where I want it to be. If you guys don't tape your Prismacolors, if you ever have a trouble getting them to fit properly in a what are these called? Well, I just pulled that all out. A pencil extender, I just use a little bit of tissue or a paper towel. Make it a little bit stiffer. Okay, so 50% cool gray. And debating on, let me just see what this 10% cool gray looks like. I don't want to completely make the eye gray, so let's blend with our white. We can always glaze some color over the top of it if it looks too bright. Yeah, that still is too bright. So I have been, this is 50% cool. I have been, you know, trying to find a tan paper that you guys all have access to. And so I decided to break out the Strathmore Toned Tan again and revisit it. And I have to say that I didn't hate it as much as I used to. I think it's it's something that you just have to get used to. And it's one of those things that you have to work it a lot more than the smoother papers. But if you guys want to try your hand at working on a toned paper and you don't have access to the Desert Storm paper, I would go ahead and give the Strathmore paper a try. Sorry, that was 20% cool gray, and now I'm back to white now. I would give that Strathmore paper a try. You will have to build up more layers on it than you see me do when I'm working on the Desert Storm paper, but it will give you an idea of what it's like to work on a tan paper for, you know, less of an investment in money. And you might just fall in love with it. Okay, let's go ahead and start bringing in some of the little veiny. So this is Henna. Actually, I think I want to make this a little bit more pink. Maybe with pink, which I don't have out. So give me 1 second. And we'll do regular pink. Now the nice thing about the nice thing is that if we're working on this, this is Henna again, working on white paper, we can always come in with a white paint pen or gel pen or whatever and add some more bright highlights if we don't get them well enough on the white paper. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit more pink in here. So as you can see, when you're working big like this is not just, eyes are not quick. They're going to take some time, but I don't know. I really, really am enjoying doing these. So hopefully you will too. All right, let's do some Nectar. Go ahead and start filling that in. Now that I'm thinking about it, I have to really concentrate on the steps when I do it on white, because if I make a mistake and not get my whites down, I will regret it. All right, I'm going to use light peach. And I think I'm going to take my Henna again. So I definitely used reference photos when I drew those. I don't want you guys to be under the impression that you can't do this because you wouldn't be able to come up with doing that, you know, all on your own. Hello, I did not do it all on my own either. I used a reference photo so that I had something to look at and know where things go and all of that stuff. So when you are working on these to start with, please feel free to pull up my my original. It'll be on my Instagram page. You'll be able to look at how I did it. You're welcome to use that to copy, because you know, it's their eyes. We want them to be as realistic as possible. But you can also pull up any other reference photo online, and look at how irises look. Look at how eyelashes look at all of that stuff. And the more you do them, the less you'll need to rely on a reference photo when you are doing them in a smaller, smaller size on your coloring pages, because you've already done them a few times now, and that will really help, I think. All right, let's do the iris. So I think I am going to start with my white, because that will help. That will act as a resist. So I'm just going to make little squigglies. And when you get on and you search online, whether it's Pinterest or whether it's just a Google search for eyes or iris, you will be amazed at how many colors are in the irises and how different they all are as far as like patterns go. I was really amazed at how beautiful irises really are. So that is something that I do all the time. I'm always looking at body parts and looking at where shadows fall on people's faces. All of that stuff. If you're looking for realism, that's how I am learning, and how I'm my recommendation for you, if that's what you want to do. So these lines that you see coming down in here, those are eyelash reflections. So you don't have to, I wouldn't worry about coloring around them or anything like that. I would just go right over them, but you know that they're there, so when it comes time to add those in at the end, you know that that's what those are. Okay, so I went through all of that and didn't tell you what color it was. That was Cobalt Turquoise. And then I think I'm going to use some, bear with me. Okay, so I'm going to use some light umber in here. I'm just kind of using my reference, not my reference, my drawing of this eye as my reference to get my colors and stuff. But you could, pick any eye and pick colors. Okay, let's do some Chartreuse. Because I didn't write down exactly what colors I did for the on the original. I probably should start doing that, but didn't. So it doesn't have to be exact. All right, we need what color? Let's try Aquamarine. We'll work on getting this up here darker soon, because it's always darkest up at the very top. Well, I shouldn't say always. Most of the time it's darkest up at the top because of the shadow of the eyelid. Okay, I think I need some regular green. Let's try some Kelly green. Okay, let me take my white, and we're gonna use it to not only blend out here, I want to do some light blue in there. So let's see, I'm going to put some light blue, sky blue light right there. Then I'm going to take indigo blue on the edge. Maybe just a hair, just glaze over that a little bit. Okay, so in order for the eyeball to have a little bit more I don't know, interest, depth, sometimes I like to put that cobalt blue before I put black down. It kind of depends on how dark it prints. I don't know that I needed to do that this time. I'm just softening the edge a little bit here. I think I want to add some dark umber. I need a little line here because these are actually two different highlights. So we'll just break that up a little bit with whatever color you feel like. It doesn't matter. Just break that up. Okay, let's take some black. I'm just gently darkening the area underneath the eyelid. This is just my colorless blender. All right, that feels pretty good. I think I want to add a little more dark around the edge of the iris here. Okay, and I still kind of feel like I want a little bit more dark. Let's see, what is this? This is the 50 Cool. I'm almost wondering if I should do 70. Let's try the 70% cool gray. You can use your cool grays, you can use any of your grays, your warm grays, your cool grays. I've mixed them all together in this, on the same eye. We could put some other colors in here. Let's try a little bit of sky blue light. That might be a little bit too light, but we'll see. Sorry, I had to find because the iris, the whites of the eye are shiny and reflective. They reflect a lot of colors. So using blues, particularly, work really well. Okay, I think I might be happy with that. I'm just putting a little bit of that in the highlight there. I think that looks pretty good. So then the next, oh boy, this could be a full long video. Just the next would be to go around and do the skin around here too. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just because it's fun and in case you guys want to see that as well. So this right here is the water line underneath peeking out. So we want to use something like light peach on that for that to show. And then I'm just gonna get started. So I'm gonna pull out some of my skin tone colors here. I probably will not be able to make it look just like my original because I'm doing it on white instead of on tan, but we'll see if we can get close. All right, so I think I will start with light peach. No, scratch that. I am going to start with some oh my gosh, you guys, seriously. All right, we'll start with some henna. I'm going to put that in here, and I'm using the very lightest of pressure. Then maybe we'll switch to Nectar. And so on this one, there are these little white fine hairs. I don't know if this is going to work. Adding those fine hairs when I'm on my tan paper work great. So I'm going to do those first and see if they will act as a resist. They'll either show up or they won't. So we'll see. So this is light peach. And I'm trying to preserve some highlights here. Something else I want to do now that I'm seeing it. I'm going to take my white and I'm going to put some little, I don't even know what you would call them. They're like the little pore, little raised dots. Yeah, I know you can't see them. Hopefully they'll resist the color a little bit. Okay, I want something kind of yellow. So maybe beige. Let's put a little bit of beige in here. All right, back to light peach. So one of the things that I find so much easier when I'm coloring a portrait is, as I'm sure you've noticed, I switch back and forth between my pencils constantly. I think that in the beginning I tried to, I did a lot of, you know, using one pencil and doing all the shade, all the shadows, or all the highlights. And sometimes I do that for, in color alongs for the to make it easier for you guys so that I'm not constantly switching back and forth between pencils. But I will say that when I am working on my own, I am constantly switching back and forth between pencils. This is peach. And building the color as I see that it needs it. Because if I put all the shadows down first, or all the highlight down first, or whatever, I might discover that I needed it in a different place. And so if I build as I go, I can see the page kind of develop and know where I need to put stuff. If that makes sense. I also, on white paper, find for me that if I put some midtones down first, when I go to put the darker tones on, they blend better and they don't stick hard to the paper, because there's that buffer layer of colored pencil between them. So like right now I'm putting down the mid-tone peach, so that when I go to put down the shadows that are in the crease, they're going to blend easier for me. So I wouldn't worry about coloring around the eyelashes either. That will just make you crazy and not a happy camper. So don't worry about it. Just color right over them. All right, I'm gonna kind of stick on this side and work my way over, I think. Kind of, well, if I use a really light touch, it should be okay. All right, let's do some, kind of want to, I kind of want to put some white down. I'm going to put a little bit of white down just to keep this area lighter. Hopefully that's the right thing to do. I'm not pressing down very hard, just using a light pressure. All right, now we'll do some light peach. I'm going to put some white right in here. me go over it with the light peach. All right, let's add some chestnut. Okay. Is it in my hand and I don't see it? No. There, oh, that's terracotta. Okay, I give up. There it is. All right, so chestnut. So always keep in mind when you're working on grayscale, no matter what grayscale you're working on, if you add red tones into your grayscale, it's going to counteract that gray. And that's especially important when you're working on portraits, to keep them from looking like they're dead with a gray undertone of skin. You never want that. I know these are things that I keep repeating in all the videos, but I think I'll probably continue to repeat them in all the videos. I'm even thinking about doing another video with just like my top tips for certain things. But I know not everybody watches the videos from start to finish, so that's why I keep repeating, thinking that maybe everybody will catch some part of the video. All right, I don't have enough mid-tone color down here. I feel like if I put my chestnut on there, it's going to stick too hard, so to speak. So I'm just adding a little bit more of the peach. And then back to the chestnut. So we have our darkest line, and you've got shading on the top of it and shading on the bottom of it. We want to try and make this look as three-dimensional as we can get it. This is going to be funny if this video lasts as long as a full skin tutorial. I was thinking, oh yeah, I'll have this, you know, knocked out in a half an hour. Huh, nope. We have a long way to go yet too, so. Okay, but I like how it's starting to have a nice three-dimensional look there on the eyelid. So something that I'm noticing on my original that I did not do coloring this in the white is get those little white freckles. They're not really freckles. They're like little bumps. The white hairs are kind of showing though, so that's good. So I'm gonna try something. What color do I use for this? Let's see. I think that'll be too dark. I guess I'll try it with the beige. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I don't think it is. I was gonna try and put little circles of color so that the white showed through, but it's really not working very well. Now I'm just experimenting, so bear with me. I know this is a really dark color. This is light umber. And I'm going so very lightly on it. I guess that's not too bad. It's basically what I'm doing is I'm putting a teeny tiny little shadow underneath where each one of these little raised skin dots, I don't know what to call them, would be. And that did a pretty good job. That's not too bad. I might blend it a little bit. That might be a little bit too much. Not bad. No, it's good. Okay, continuing on. Let's do some Nectar in here. And I think some beige. I really enjoy throwing down as many different colors as I can into the skin, because it seems like every time I do that, it just keeps getting better and better and better. Like right in here, it looks a little bit too gray, so to me that means that there's not enough color down on this area yet, so I'm going to use Nectar. Let's see if we can lighten this. I'm just curious if it'll... Yeah, it does. Okay, let's do some beige, like the light, the sun is casting a little bit of a glow. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I need to get some more color on up in here. This is peach. Kind of curious if I do little circles. Don't do this yet, if you're following along with me. It's just that if I was coloring this on a toned paper, I could add all of those little lighter colored blemishes at the end. Let's use beige. And then white. All right, that's pretty good. Let's work over here. going to put in some let's do a little bit of more peach. I'm going to run peach all along this edge before I put down any darker color. Pull this up. All right, Chestnut. Because it's a darker color, I'm lightening my pressure. My stupid printer is still printing stupid lines. So frustrating. It works itself out. Like I'll print a bunch of stuff. It'll be fine. Then it starts putting lines on things. So then I clean the print head. But for some reason, even after cleaning the print head like 3 times, it goes through this whole thing. It still does lines. But then if I go back and start printing stuff again, then it works itself out and the lines go away until it happens next time and I start the process all over again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put some skin. I don't really know if blemishes is the right word, but sunspots. And then those will blend out and be lighter, and then we'll put some more in. Let's do light peach up here. I wish I would have put some white down first, but I didn't, so. I think we can work around that by going darker everywhere else. Let's use some burnt ochre. Very light pressure. Some more chestnut. Try blending with light peach. I'm not pushing down very hard. It's almost like I'm just adding a medium layer. To gently blend some color into the white. Let's do some beige. All right, so I think I'm just going to kind of come around. I got to make sure that I leave this area in here white, or, you know, particularly light. I'm just blending right now with my white. Okay, so I'm going to add some very light pressure, some pink. Okay, let's do a little bit of white. You don't have to do this. If you're used to working on white paper and you don't do this, then don't bother. It's just my own crutch, I guess, because I'm not used to the white paper as much as I am the tan. I kind of wish I could just convince everybody to use tan paper. Okay. So I am going to put some white in here. I want to make sure that at least that little under eye area is a little bit bulgy. Keeping it three-dimensional. That's the most important one. We'll do a little bit under here. Okay. Let's do light peach. It's looking good though. I'm happy with how it looks so far. Did I say light peach? Yes, light peach. So I'm going to start just in the creases with this. Blend up into that and down into it, so the majority of the color is on the top and the bottom. Here. pressure, just laying down a super light layer of color on top of the area that doesn't have any pencil on it yet. The less pencil that's on your paper, the lighter your pressure should be. Your initial layer should always be your lightest pressure, and as you get more and more colored pencil down on the paper, you can add more and more pressure. Okay, I'm going to switch to light peach. I want to do a little bit more. Let's try some clay rose in here. I think over here. Like I can still see way too much little white flecks showing through the paper over here. That's always going to be more obvious in your darker areas because obviously the white's going to stand out more. Okay, I want some more. What do I want? I don't know. If I was using other colors besides Prismas, I would be, or in addition to Prismas, I'd be breaking out, you know, my luminance. I'd be breaking out my luminance light flash. Yeah, see, there's so many. Maybe I will. My goodness. I hate to do that to you guys, though. It's such a nice... Just use peach. It's really hard for me to stick to one brand of pencils because there's so many good colors in other brands. So this is Dark Flesh 5%, or if I didn't have that in my hand, I'd probably just be using this peach color. All right, let's darken the these creases very, very lightly. This is Chestnut. And then maybe we'll try some burnt ochre. So I'm going to try blending with cream. It's not as yellow as beige or eggshell, but it's not as white. It won't lighten the color as much as white will. Lightening that pressure because I don't have hardly any color right here on the high point of the wrinkle. Okay. Could use some Nectar. Could use Beige. I mean, there's lots of different choices that you can use to fill and deepen and make that color look really pretty. This is the Luminance. Once you get a pretty good layer of color down, then your choices of what you can throw on here become pretty good. There's a lot of different choices that you can use, because then you're just throwing down all these different tones, and they're all going to blend together and look nice and make for a really nice skin tone. So that was Nectar. This is Beige. I don't think you can make a mistake as far as what you put down, especially when you're working in the darker areas. At this point, I just kind of want to fill that in so that there's no white showing. This is Chestnut again. I feel like I want a little bit more red. Feeling pretty good about this though. It's actually pretty close to my original as well, which is surprising to me. Let's do some grade lavender. Those lavender colors are always nice around the eyes, because the skin is thin generally around the eyes, and so you're going to see some lavender tones coming through the skin. Blend this a little bit better. Maybe a little bit. That clay rose is kind of purpley, so that kind of puts some of that in here already. And then I think I want to go darker. There's something not quite right there. So let's take Chestnut, go very lightly. So I'm putting a little bit more shadow or a little bit more darkness right under here to make this stand out more. And then I can blend either with the 5% luminance, or I could blend with beige. That works pretty well. This looks pretty good. So I think I want a little bit more dark. That with Nectar. Sorry, my alarm just went off. I set an alarm to remember to turn off the water in the swimming pool, because if I don't set alarms, I forget. I get lost in my studio, and I've been known to forget dinner and multiple other things as I just get, this is like, well, I'm gonna date myself now, but coloring and art and being in my studio is like Calgon for me. It's like, Calgon, take me away. And that's exactly what happens. I get lost. So sometimes you can get some decent thin white marks, even on white paper, if you're lucky, just to kind of give the skin some texture there. I'm happy with the texture that I've got going on over here. I think we're almost done. I'm not going to bother doing the eyelashes, mostly because they're, you know, they're still there. And I mean, the only thing that I might do, I'm kind of curious about what would happen if I went over them with them. You know, I'm changing my mind. Just curious. I'm not sure if this pen will work or not, but yeah, it does. So, you could darken the eyelashes with a pen. It's really tempting for me to maybe try doing a pen the next time I do one of these, because I like how thin the lashes are. And you got to be careful though, because they don't necessarily work great if there's a lot of colored pencil. Although this is working pretty well. Might have to occasionally rub it off on another piece of paper. Kind of like what that's doing. It's giving me, certainly giving me better control than a colored pencil. Kind of like that. All right, so then I might, with some dark brown. Is this dark brown? Dark umber. This is dark umber, but whatever. I might just come in and put a little makeup on this eye, just very lightly. All right, let's try one more thing. Of course, I'm not prepared. I have better luck with, oh, here's my Posca. Let's try Posca rather than gel. So, if you put your Posca on and tap it, sometimes that softens it a little bit so that it's not quite so harsh of a line. Sometimes it doesn't. Oh, I like those. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call this done. So, I don't know if you learned anything, but it was nice to have you here anyway. So, yeah, so there's one down of the 4 different eyes that are on the coloring page. Different shapes, etc. That one, again, has no eyelashes. So I don't know about you, but I really like doing these, and I will probably keep making sets of 4, and lips too. Lips are one of those things that are good to practice on as well. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Hopefully you picked up a trick or two, and I will see you guys next week for another coloring page. Thanks so much. Until I see you again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Happy coloring. Bye-bye.